Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 4 of Wednesdays with White. I am Miss White here at Renaissance University, and here's our 10-minute kind of discussion period of time every Wednesday where we just kind of connect. I give you a few updates on what's happening within the school and answer any questions that you guys may have. So, I have a special guest that will be joining me in a few minutes. She's actually going to come on a little later towards the end of the broadcast to just kind of announce some things from a curriculum perspective. So I hope you guys will enjoy the fact that I'm bringing other folks in because, if you're listening to me every week, that might get a little boring. So we're going to try to spice it up and do a few different things. I'm also going to start taking this a little on location as well. Won't be doing it here from my office. I just got out of a meeting today that took up most of the morning. And so this is probably the only freedom that I've had all morning. So, I'm ready to get out there and get out there with the kids. So here are a few announcements that I have. So forgive me for looking down, but I have some notes here on my Post-it. Now, first and foremost, this is really exciting. The uniform store is slowly starting to restock some of the supply that they've been low on. So for those of you who have been patiently waiting for them to get in inventory, you may want to just touch base with the store manager or give them a call before you drive out there and just make sure that they have restocked on some of the specific supplies that you need. But I have heard upon good intel that they have a lot more options available. So for those of you that need to purchase a few more things to complete your wardrobe for the year in order to be compliant with the uniform policy, check out All Uniform Wear because it seems as though they've gotten a few more things in. So that's a really great thing. On the academic home front, tutoring has started this week. This might be the earliest that we've ever started tutoring in the past 10 years. And rightfully so. We want to make sure that we're really focused on closing the academic gap because last year the challenge is that many of the kids were home for the vast majority of the year or certain portions of the year because we didn't go in person until October. So we just want to make sure that we're laser focused on making sure that we can shore up any areas in which the kids need additional support. So this first cohort of students in tutoring were pre-selected, and they're a targeted group of kids that we feel would really benefit from the extended time with our teachers. So don't fret. Don't think for a second that if you weren't contacted for tutoring that something's wrong. But if you see something in your child that you feel your child could benefit from tutoring, feel free to reach out to our tutoring coordinators. Miss Pitts and Miss Rico are the two staff members that are driving the tutoring program this year, and they'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. They're fabulous. So we're really excited about that, to be tutoring in September. I can't believe it. All right. And we're in mid-September. So the uniform store and tutoring. All right. So dismissal. I said that I was going to try to kind of slowly temper down the dismissal announcements, but there are a few things that we do need to touch base about. One, and this is just a logistical request as we start to really streamline things. My 3 o'clock families that pick up in the front car loop. If your child is dismissed at 3 p.m. and you or a family member is picking up within the front car loop, we respectfully ask that you not pull onto the campus lot prior to 2:45. Why, you may ask, Ms. White, why are you asking us to do this? I like to get here early. Well, remember, from 2:30 till 2:45, we're dismissing kindergarten and first grade. So that's about 340 tiny humans that we're dismissing in that 15-minute period, right? What we find is that if our 3 o'clock families show up too early, you're clogging up the lanes, and we still have primary parents that are trying to get into the lot and pull forward. So if you end up at the front of the line, there may be K1 parents that are stuck behind you because you're in the loop too early. So we're asking that you not arrive prior to 2:45. If by some chance you show up prior to 2:45, just be courteous and make sure that you're using the outer lane, the lane closest to the gas station. That way we can at least keep one lane clear for the primary parents so we can get them on and off the lot. Because if we have delays with the 2:30 dismissal, guess who will be waiting in that line longer? You. All right. So we want to make sure that we're all just on the same page logistically. Their dismissal's pretty fast. We can get it done within 10-15 minutes. But if we start to have the 3 o'clock parents arrive too early, then that extends the K1 dismissal, and then everybody's here a little bit later. All right. So we want to make sure that we're getting there. Big shout out to all of you as parents. You know, I got to make sure if I'm taking this 10 minutes to talk to you, that I'm also giving you guys praise instead of the procedures and the rules all the time. So here's a shout out to all of you parents. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We cannot thank you enough for just being so understanding. We made it through the first month of school. And, you know, with dismissal, it's such a delicate dance, you know, but it's very choreographed. So everybody has to kind of play their part. And if there's any like level of misalignment, it's like, you know, if you're somebody who knows the Rockettes from New York, you know, there's the kick line. If somebody's kicking in the wrong direction, it ruins the effect of the whole dance. So we all have to be kind of like playing our part and making sure that we're all in sync to make sure it goes smoothly. So, oh, Mr. Williams, thank you so much. So you said that the back car loop looks a little congested in the morning. The before care parents have to wait in long lines behind general drop off. You are right, Mr. Williams. That is a problem that we have seen. That we're working actively to address. The tough part for us is that most of the staff here in the building, we don't arrive until 7:15, myself included. We usually don't arrive until 7:15. So the before care team that's there solely just to supervise the kids can't really address it. But what he's describing is the same phenomenon that's happening in the front car loop. So when early in the morning, we have some parents that are early birds, and I love it. I am not an early bird, not at all. I am a night owl. So the struggle is real for me in the morning as a parent. So for those of you early birds that arrive prior to 7:30, we respectfully ask once again, just make sure that you're not blocking both lanes, guys, because we have the before care parents and the breakfast parents that are trying to pull forward. So in the back car loop, this is such a great point you brought up, Mr. Williams. I'm really glad you posted that. In the back car loop in the morning, if you're one of those early bird parents in the back, just use the outer lane, the lane closest to the bowling alley, so that everybody else can pull up closer to the building and they can get in and out, right? Unfortunately, we cannot dismiss because we have required minutes as per the state that we have to satisfy. So we can't let the kids out any earlier than that. And we already kind of start this a few minutes earlier than we should. A few minutes earlier than we should. So we can't let the kids out can't let them out a little earlier. But we're always looking to revise it. If we make any major changes like that, that's something that we would have to have approved at levels far higher than my pay grade. So that's something that we're always continually looking at, you know, but we are required with our contract with the city. No, it was a great question, Ms. Kennedy. We are required with our agreement with the city to make sure that our dismissal is staggered, which is why we have a 2:30 dismissal and a 3 o'clock dismissal. But if we stagger it more, what may end up happening is that, you know, I have to keep my staff here later, and I already asked so much of them. I would hate to have it in that way. It is not faster to be a walker than a driver, believe it or not. In fact, if you're a walker, you really need to be a true walker where your child is actually walking off this campus. We have been having some issues with folks that are being categorized or applying to be walkers, and they're walking to a car, which causes delays in the car loop. Or people are attempting to drive onto the lot during dismissal and not following the flow of traffic, and that causes an issue. But a very good question, Ms. Lewis. But it's actually not faster to be a walker than a driver, unless your child is a true walker and walking, you know, to a nearby community within a 2-mile radius. So you're right, Ms. Contreras. Some folks, and this comes down to kind of being the parent police. Some of you guys are not that polite to one another out there. And I've had to send staff out onto 82nd to kind of get those lines under control so people are not tempers are not flaring out there. So some people are cutting each other off, and that's not nice. So we want to be nice out there. So, but we're going to do our best to help support. It is very hard to be the parent police out there because we really just want to make sure that we're dismissing the kids as expediently as possible. But we appreciate your support, and you guys are being amazing with the feedback too. It really helps. Some of you even took time to send me pictures like, Miss White, this is what I'm talking about. And it's really helpful because I would take that back to the team and I'd say, okay, guys, this is what they're describing and what can we do to fix it? So dismissal, I'm a little obsessed with it. It's a daily communication amongst the team because we want to make sure that we're doing it right and we're doing it safely. We're willing to take on an extra 5 to 7 minutes as long as it's safe. And it's helped a lot. You know, what I've learned over the past 10 years with my families that I serve here and my students is that it really does take a village here at university when it comes to the kids. And many of you who are watching this broadcast right now are not necessarily the folks that are actually in the car loop. Some of you, you have grandmothers, grandfathers, aunts, uncles, cousins, older siblings picking up the kids. And the most important thing is just communicating with the members of your family that are picking up the kids so that we don't have any confusion. So, and yes, thank you, Miss Lewis. I do appreciate that because, you know, many of you have been so amazing to us, handing us water. I've been handed umbrellas out in the car loop, water, snacks sometimes. And my team really appreciates that because they're out there in the morning and in the afternoon. They get rained on. I mean, we've gotten soaked. Earlier this week, many of us went home soaking wet. I ruined my sneakers. That happens at least once a year. But, you know, we're happy to do whatever we need to do to get the kids out safely. So, you know, at this point, the delays that we're typically seeing are either a day that we don't have a detail or there's like something legit happening out there in the community, like an accident or rain. And we'll have to stop dismissal if lightning ever occurs. But the other day, it was like a 15-minute monsoon. I don't know what was going on out there, but that was a little insane. All right. So, oh, awesome. So some of you early birds, Miss Kennedy, some of you get out a little bit earlier. And, you know, the main thing is just once we get out there and we start getting the cars moving, it tends to flow pretty fast. And with the help of our police detail, we're able to offload the cars on the university drive. Many of you who are back car loop parents may notice that we've taken a different approach over the past week just to see if it kind of speeds things up because we have probably about 3 times as many cars as the front car loop. So myself, along with another staff member or two, will take the kids when we see a bunch of kids that have come out, but we don't see that their cars are at the front of the line. We will march them down the center lane. We'll hold the cars. We'll march them down the center lane. We have a staff member in the front. That's the line leader. And then we have a staff member in the back. That's the caboose. Sometimes I'm the line leader. Sometimes I'm the caboose. And we will march them right on down the middle and walk them down to their cars. And then once the kids get a safe distance away from the cars in front, we'll start to move the cars in front. And then we'll just start to advance the cars forward in cohorts. So when we do that, I find that we're moving about maybe 2 to 3 times as many cars at a time. And we're getting like full batches off the campus. So you may have seen that. We try to, and the kids have been very, very good about it. They stay in the center unless they see their car. And that's been really, really helpful. Okay, so I see some other questions, so I'm going to hop into those. So Ms. Contreras said, fall pictures, is there a package, or can you pick? You can pick a package, I believe. And I don't know if we've sent out the information yet. I apologize for not remembering that. But if we haven't sent a parent link out or a school messenger out about that, I will find out. I believe we just sent an email this week, if I'm not mistaken, about fall pictures. So I will follow up with the girls up front. And if you haven't gotten an email about that from Miss Chanel, I'll take care of that right away. Can't some of the other grades be dismissed up front? Oh, good question, Miss Kennedy. Actually, we did make a change that with relation to that this year. It's the first time we've ever done it. We actually, maybe about week 2 into the school year, we actually moved all of the kindergarten and first grade siblings. which was a good cohort of siblings. We moved them all to the front car loop at 3 o'clock. And that way we could kind of differentiate. So now we don't have any of the tiny humans in the back, which I do miss seeing them. But now the older siblings of the kindergarten and first graders, they go to the front. They pick up their siblings at their classrooms, and then they exit through the front car loop. So typically, you won't see any tiny kids in the front unless it's closer to late pickup. Excuse me, I'm gonna cough, but I'm okay. Okay. Okay, this is real life, guys. I'm on a live. You see I was trying to hold it in, and I'm getting blotchy, and I have no water today. So this is what happens when I do these lives. So it's embarrassing. All right, so I'm gonna wrap it up because as you can see, I'm getting a little flushed. All right, so my special guest star has not arrived. I think she might have been delayed in the cafeteria. So I'm gonna go ahead and release her announcement, and hopefully she can join me on another broadcast. So here's what we're gonna say, excuse me. Pardon me, my goodness. All right, so all right, iReady Math Challenge. So iReady is a program that we use for instructional software for math in grades kindergarten through 8th grade. Well, in grades 4 through 8, we're actually doing an iReady Math Challenge. And Ms. Bolin is my math curriculum resource teacher who's heading up this initiative in order to just promote some really great spirit around the kids doing their instructional software for math and meeting their weekly goals. The whole purpose behind instructional software, all of the programs that we use here at university are research driven. Yes, Ms. Bolin is amazing. Are research driven, and they're proven to really close gaps and help kids grow towards their annual goals and progress. So with iReady, we're doing a math challenge, and we're going to be giving out some prizes and awards for kids meeting the incentives and goals. So you may hear your kids talk about it at home if they're not coming home in grades 4 through 8. So this is only for 4th grade and up. If they're not talking about it, bring it up at dinner. Ask them if they're going to take the challenge. It never hurts to give it a try. And who doesn't love free stuff? I love winning things. So give that a go. But unfortunately, Miss Bolin, she is doing cafeteria duty, so she is probably busy opening ranch dressing packets right now. But I'm going to try to get her in on another broadcast and try to have other members of my team join me as well. It's really important that you guys get to see folks in a different context than outside in the sun. Try to get Ms. Dean on one of these, or Mr. Gibbs, or even some of the other CRTs, because all of them, our goal every day is to support the adults who support the kids. And we try our best to do that. And thank you, Mr. Williams, for that feedback. We do appreciate that as well. That was something from your feedback, we were able to make that adjustment. Excuse me. Goodness gracious. So with that said, I think I'm going to end my Wednesdays with Wyatt and go get some water. I really needed to be more prepared today, right? I jumped out of a meeting, but I didn't want to be late for you because I feel like, timeliness is next to godliness. So that was important. But I appreciate you guys taking the time to be with me. And I will see you guys next Wednesday. So stay safe out there and go Lions.